three ways that energy could be transferred: conduction, convection, and radiation. Now, the most vivid example of conduction is the ink that prints your newspaper. The newspaper ink is transferred by a dye or an actual marker to the cloth. And the important thing is that the ink soaks in the fiber. If you take a microscope and look closely at those fibers, you'll actually see depression and marks from the conducted image. The next form of image, the convected form of image, is very much like spray painting. And you can include in the convected type image Kirlian photography, coronal type discharges, and discharges where you would have fumes involved. The advantage or disadvantage of those they'll transfer a gap, they will go across a gap, but the other thing to look for is that they wrap around the fibers. They actually will envelop what they're, and if I'm not mistaken, Shorman showed this, that his image, his corona discharge went through the cloth. If I'm not mistaken, it darkened the fibers pretty deep. Now the third class of image, close encounters of the third kind. The third class of image is a radiated image. And that is what I think the body image is. Let me be very specific. Radiated image is like what you're getting on television right now. My radiation is going through the lens onto the sensor. The lens is doing the focusing. The image on the shroud of the body image is functionally, in my book, in my estimation, it is a radiated image which is made solenoidal with the gravity vector. That's why you get an up image and a down image. In other words, what's happening is as the body was disappearing, leaving gravity space, it was leaving behind it just like little vortexes, like in a bathtub when you let the water out. When the water goes out, you leave a little spiral goes out. Well, that's what was happening. When the body was leaving the gravitational space, it literally left some particle behind. I'm going to guess a W particle type thing. It lived for only about 12 picoseconds. And that's the secret. That's why right against the nose you get dark and the cheek is lighter. Because the particle was only living for about 12 picoseconds as it traveled about 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inch through space. I think John Jackson said something like 2.5, 3 centimeters. And that's why it's an electromagnetic type radiation, or an image of the third kind. Okay?
Okay.
Explanation.
Very learning discussion.
Now, all right. Now, can you?
Very nice. Yeah.
Can you zoom in on that?
Yeah. Let me zoom in on that. That's fascinating.
Now, this is the thing I'm trying to show that the.
Oh, wait a minute.
The.
Mary would like to see this.
Oh, sure.
Well, she said that anytime you want to stop and go upstairs, get your coffee.
Okay. Oh my goodness. That's fascinating.
Now I apologize for the noise, but that's just the way we got to wire it up temporarily like that. But this is what's so unique about the VPA presentation. It is certainly a three-dimensional image. And you can see as you move it that... Okay, can you zoom in on just this feature right here?
Let's see.
Okay, zoom.
I'll need to move the camera in. I can do that.
Well, I was going to point out that the only controls I'm manipulating here, this is gain, and I'm raising and lowering.
Just 1 second.
What we call a z-axis, or the density from the television camera over the eyes. You can see there's something sticking up sharply there, which I can point with the screwdriver.
Yeah.
If we had this thing better shielded and cleaned up, it wouldn't jump around so. Okay, there you go. There you go. Put your hand. In fact, this is a good demonstration. Put your hand in there. Now you see how it distorts your hand.
My goodness.
Okay, you see your hand. Are you still recording there? Yeah. Okay. Now notice that your hand bears no similarity to what you know your hand looks like. All right.
Mary?
So if you put a regular hand in there, you would. A regular photograph in there, there'd be no three-dimensionality. You see this, Mary? See how his hand is distorted?
Yes.
Notice that his hand, you notice how his thumb is distorted there. And notice how the face... Go ahead and move your hand now, Al. Okay. You can see how his hand, see how the thumb is distorted. And, but the face is not. And you can see over the face, you can see the coins.
My goodness.
But you can't capture this on a still photograph. See, Al? This is what I'm telling you. It's hard for you to appreciate.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm videoing.
Yeah.
So that's incredible.
That is.
Okay, the video camera tells no lies, and besides, I'm a high that one of your other images that's very crisp. Let's lay one of your other images down there. Get out one of your, oh, I don't know what you've got, but I can use one of these possibly to give you some idea. Gosh, man, I can't even find my images here. What did I do with my books?
You mean some of the Sherman's photographs?
Yeah, let's see, maybe I had it right here. I had them in a brown, I had a whole bunch of brown envelopes, and I had them right in my hand. Let's see, can't believe, gosh darn. All film and experiment, all in one. Okay, we'll get it together yet. All right, say when you're rolling, I'll give you...
Oh, we're on.
We're on, all right. What we're doing here is we're looking at a 35 millimeter slide of a flower that is being projected on a screen, and we're taking the VP8 through the black and white camera. The lines you see in there, by the way, are lines of interference. Those are not, those are artifacts.
Yeah, they're from the screen on the
Yeah.
black one.
Now, just if you want to reference it again, hold your hand up like you're just doing there and move into the picture. Move into the picture. Okay. So you can see how distorted his hand is. All right. Now, the important point to call to your attention is that the stalk and the leaves don't really have a believable three-dimensional signature. Now, I'm going to move over, Al, to the next picture alongside of it there. Okay?
Yes.
Now, we're looking now. Move your hand. Look up on the screen. You can see you're blocking it slightly.
Oh, okay, that's one. Okay.
All right. Now, unfortunately, I don't have much more light here. I thought I could... oh, here we go. I'm sorry. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Now, this is a VP8 of the transferred image from the leaf. Mm-hmm. And the important thing to notice is that it has a lower profile because it's a lighter image. But if I increase the gain, you'll see that it still doesn't have quite the three-dimensional properties. The leaves still have rather sharp edges. Mm-hmm. And let's just put this other slide in there, and we'll show what happens with this man's image. Let's see if we can put this in here. Try this right here. Try that one right there. That's the one that these slides came from a fellow by the name of Monroney.
Oh yeah, I know.
And this is a, all right, here we go. This is a picture of a boy playing a flute. And
It's the other side that's strong now.
pardon? Well, I'm just trying to show the two.
Yeah.
We're trying to
Oh,
show
I
the
see.
two things here. So this is the colored image of the man playing the flute, and you can see as I zoom in. I suppose you ought to swing your camera up. Why don't you swing and show what the image looks like, so we can give the readers at home here a chance to see the whole story.
Okay.
Go ahead and film in both those things.
Okay.
This is
There we go. That's
actually a contact type process where this print was laying in a book and diffused one into the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, now go back to the three-dimensional image in front of me. The first thing to see is that when you zoom in here, I guess I've zoomed in. Oh, here we go. Okay. You can see how flat the edges are. Mm-hmm. This is a characteristic of a... bang that little bit there. Sorry, there we go. We fixed it. All right, you see these edges right here, how raised those are. Those are very artificial as an artist edge would be. That's one of the biggest single proofs of an artist. And even when I increase that, you can see how they distort. Mm-hmm. All right, now we're going to look at the diffuse image. And this is what... In other words, as diffuse as it is to fool the human eye, it still doesn't fool the computer. Because actually that's a pretty bad flat image, but it still has the same edge characteristics. It doesn't have nice roundedness like the shroud image does.
Yeah.
That's the main thing we're trying to point out here.
Right.
Now, if you want to try, do you have any other images?
Yeah, let me get some of Sherman's.
Okay, take some of whatever.
See if I got some slides from his work.
This is absolutely excellent.
Okay, let's see, just one second while I get on the screen. Don't do anything drastic down there. What I'm showing is on the projected screen here.
No, this is very good
Yeah,
because
of the image of the chrysanthemum-like flower, and then two coronal images by Scheuermann. Here, okay. Let's see, let me change my position here. Get around.
yeah, this is good.
Oh, okay. Oh, bye. My. Over there.
Yeah, can you zoom in on it?
Yeah, let's get in on that.
Now here again, this is,
Wait a second, I plug it in. Okay, there we go.
all right, to correspond to what you just saw, this is the flatter or darker image, and this is the brighter image. Notice how the centers fall, and you get these rings around there. Now, I'm not going to argue, but you can see here, the way the image falls off very flat, that is a sign of a so-called just a plane transfer process. When it's eroded like that, you can tell that that's some kind of a convection process. Now, just by comparison, we're going to move over to the shroud, and on the shroud, your image, there you go, okay. Now, here's the image of your flower on the shroud, and I've got to admit, it does have some interesting 3D properties to it there. It does seem like the center is raised, and there does seem to be some kind of a curious ring around there. But I kind of reserve judgment as to what that really looks like. This is clearly a dark stain. You can see how black that looks perfectly flat right there. Well, I'm going to go back again. Are you still running?
Yeah.
All right. Flat. Decidedly edge enhanced. Shroud. I don't know if we can zoom in on that anymore, or what we can do with it, but there's all three of the images.
Okay.
This definitely is going to take some further study, but there's your zooming in on it and trying to focus this. Now, just for comparison, do you want to drop a slide in there showing the whole shroud, just for reference?
Yeah.
Do you have something?
Let's see.
We can put your recorder on pause if you want to while we're... Can I just turn it off here?
Yeah, this is image on the screen here.
Yeah, this is a good lash up here. You got your TV recorder. This is called a 3-camera system here.
Okay.
All right. Now, on this side, we see the negative image of the body, and because the way I have the gain set, this raises this up in proper relief. This being a negative, you can see how it's turned around. To make this image correct, I have to lower this signal. See, I flatten it back out again, and now I lower it that way. So you can see this image is now correct. All right? So this makes you a believer. The image on the left, which you saw, was directly from the shroud, and you can see how it transforms into 3 dimension with the control in this position. Let me see if I can zoom in on that, in fact, a little bit. All right, let's see here. All right. Now, even from a slide, does that convince you, Al? Okay. All right. Okay. That's the radiative formed image. Now you can see how strongly that maintains its 3-dimensional character even when it's rotated.
That is really something.
Words don't do justice to that.
No.
You can see what John Jackson the boys out at Los Alamos were all about when they first saw that. It doesn't even have to be a very good photograph, but it sure comes through. Let's see if we can go down to the hands. The hands are a little distorted there. But you can see the chest. We're just a little bit out of focus there, I think. I'll try to...
Almost there.
It gets a little grain in it. That's, I'm afraid, the best we can do. But you can see his knees here, the legs, feet. All right, let me zoom back out again here. Let me turn my ring here. All right, let's get both of them back again. All right, now let's just work on this image. We'll reverse. I'm going to turn the gain over here. See how it flattens it out? And then we go through the reversal process there. Now I'm going to zoom in on that image. Okay, I'm trying to get focus here. Okay.
Which one are you doing, the left or the right?
Yeah, I'm doing the one which was which was on the screen as a negative. This is a demonstration of electronic gain also. The fact that you can actually change it from a negative to a positive. Negative.
I'm actually positive. Let's see what if other things start coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There. Okay. Well,
Okay.
that's the.
There again, as you move it, you see some parts of the beard and the...
Yeah. Did you have?
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's all good.
That's as close as I can zoom in on that particular one.
Can you
Okay.
get the medallion?
Did you have a chance to project the phylactery? You remember? Did you get the slides?
Now, I brought them, that's why.
Oh, okay.
I got them right here.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Let's put them in the machine.
This is the photograph of an image that's left on the mattress pad in Liverpool, England, by found after a fellow died. I'm not sure how long, 12 hours or something sort of before. There's a much more of the image than this. Says that the hand is probably the clearest part. There's some of the buttock and the thigh on it.
All right. This is real science.
Okay.
Now, we're going to look up here.
He's covering.
Now, no, his shadow is on the back of that shadow.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay,
Now, once again, remember we went through this gain business. Now, the thing here that is deceptive is that the boundaries show up in a different way.
Okay, let's see. Hold on just one second.
All right. All right, go ahead.
Let's see.
Yeah, just try to do it. Try to not flash. Just try to
No,
shoot
you
it
do
with
it
your
all
natural lighting here.
Sorry, I'm in some.
I know our friend Benson. The only guy missing here is old Benson. Get him over here. We'll play this game for him. I'm gonna but say when you're gonna shoot.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna get an optimal position and okay.
All right. Do you want me to keep? I'll rotate some more and you shoot again.
Okay.
You think you got the light right?
Yeah.
All right. Say when.
Okay.
That's kind of interesting there. It's definitely distorted. It is not as neat as on the... Well, this is good because you got it on the videotape
Yeah.
as well as the slides.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So
I just revolved it through there.
Okay. All right, fine. So what's
What do you got?
observation on that?
I'm going to leave it to your camera judgment. I think it is not the same mechanism. That's my professional opinion. I'm not saying it's not a genuine image, but because of its difference in three-dimensionality, I'm going to say that I think it's a different mechanism. That's my candid opinion. Let's look here at one that you have called the forehead. I'm going to start with this larger one right here because this is a, well, you can see what you marked it.
Yeah. Looking at now is a photograph of the eye and the forehead area here, of the square box and the V over the forehead here.
All right, the important thing to point out is that we don't have the coin image very sharply here, but we do have the ridge of the brow, and we do have the blood stain right here. And I must confess that you certainly can see the square there in 3 dimension. There's no doubt about it. I'll point here. This is what we're talking about right there.
Right.
There's a V in there too, isn't it?
Yeah, the V is quite apparent.
In fact, I've got my little cursors. Now, I can almost lay the one cursor on it. There's the other cursor right there. There's one edge of the box. There's the other edge of the box. I'll move that off center there.
I don't see any cursor.
Okay, you see this line? You don't see this line through here? Okay, that's all right. I'll move it out the way.
Yeah, you better, because we don't see anything.
Okay, this line is in the cloth. There's no question about that. Okay. When it's in this position now, I'll move it. Okay, you see that going across the football
Oh,
field?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'll move the other line just to show you. See that line
Yes,
coming down
all
there?
right.
All right. I'm getting them out of the way for the moment. Now we'll go back up again. Now here again, there's noise in this picture, and I can't. Okay, I'll hold still again.
Right, fine.
Okay, why don't you shoot another picture?
Okay.
Now I'll move it another direction. There you go. If you want, you can point to the eye like that.
Yeah, okay.
That's the coin, I believe.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's fine.
Filtering is important.
So that, the V stands out fairly clearly.
Yeah, you can definitely see it. There's no question about it. You can definitely, it is definitely very much there, beautifully there. See, when you defocus slightly, you can smooth out some of the bumps. Clearly, when you're in sharp focus, you have the weave of the pattern making noise for you. But when you, this is why it's so subtle as to exactly how you can see each scan line of the television right there. This is why I'm saying it's so good to be able to run your camera, your television camera, to get this image properly.
Okay, that's very interesting.
There's no question about it. You can really see the strap from here.
Okay, what we have on the screen now is the area in the anatomic left elbow, the side of the bilacry box. We'll zoom in on that some. That's the box is approximately filling the screen at this point. Okay.
All right, now you have the same orientation. That is, this is your screen left, screen right from the photo you just saw. And the actual strap is coming right through here. Now you notice here the eye does not respond to, that is the three-dimensional eye does not respond to the borders. When I take it very low, you can see the strap borders right here. You can see them going through there, and you can see something out here. But when I apply the three-dimensional gain to it, you somehow lose it. A little bit of your shoulder shadowing that corner. There you go. Okay.
Right.
Now I'm going to rotate it.
You can see some of
There's
the
definitely, this object is definitely of interest.
Yeah, there's that you can see the two sides of the box. Stop just one second.
All right.
There's that there is a. Let's see, let me
Yeah, you can sort of see a crater right here.
On the screen, let's see, where's my pointer here? Oh, it's the top here.
Yeah.
Give it up the back.
Yeah, let's see if this points to the...
Okay. What I think we're, let's see, wait, just take it orient again.
Right there.
Let's see. Rotate dead flat. So it corresponds to what's on the screen.
Okay. There's what's on the screen.
Okay. There's what I feel is the side coming up there. They're the margins. I think what we have there is what I feel is probably the torn part of it. See that irregular thing around there? Comes up there, down there, and I think that's the irregularity.
Yeah, try it up there. That's neat.
Right there.
Look at that. Look at it dancing around on there.
Yeah. So I feel that here is the square of it. I think that this is the torn margin here, and if I'm correct, that's at the box.
Take this from bouncing around so much,
Yeah.
Alan.
That's the knot right there.
No, that's the knot is right here.
Okay, there's the knot.
Yeah, there's a blood stain in the knot. The knot is right in this area here.
All right, let's point it over to here again. I think this is the knot right here. Try it out.
The knot is in this area right here.
All right, and now, okay, put your pointer right on the center of the knot.
This is the blood stain.
All right, now look over here where that is.
Okay. 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 When you turn around on the side, there's can you turn around further that way? Okay. Let's see, back about there. Okay. There is picking up the margins right there and there. See?
Oh,
There's the top of the box. There's the thing coming across.
Yeah, I see a shoulder right here. There's no question about a shoulder there. And
yeah, I'll just run through here on the screen the outline of the box.
all right.
There's the outline of the box. Here's the irregular, the torn part on top.
All right, I think you're right.
And there's the straps running there, and the knot in this area right here.
All right, here. Back it into there. I'll go through the whole rotation for you.
Yeah.
There's rotated all the way one way. And as we go around...
Yeah, there's when you get right about there, some of the margin starts coming up. You see right along there.
All right.
And it just kind of flattens out. They're in certain planes as it comes. Yeah, there.
Yeah.
So,
No question, it's a new way to look at the image.
yeah, that's incredible.
But like any other instrument, it takes practice
Yeah.
to skill of operating it. And this is why you can see why a still picture doesn't do it justice.
Exactly. Okay. What's on the screen now is the area over the right eye. That's the coin area over the right eye with the traces, letters, and the littlest on it. Okay.
All right, now once again, we're actually capable of rotating this all the way around. And okay, you see your shadow. That's a good point. You had your shadow. So
Yeah.
this now is displaying it exactly as you saw it in the slide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that if you're trying to look at the lidus there, you'll have to rotate it slightly. Here again, the computer is more hung up on the pattern. These bumps and ridges are obviously from the 3-to-1 twill,
Yeah.
and it's hard to
Although
it's hard to come up with a total. But you can see as you experiment with the gain here, something does rise up out of that area.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Here's the letter A right there.
All right.
There's the A. You see, here's the U here.
All right.
The C here.
Yeah.
The A here. The I here.
Okay.
And the littlest runs up here.
Right around there. All right.
Right around there.
Very good. I can turn it slightly. And say again, the littlest right around there.
Yeah. And that looks like the A right there.
Yep. Again, the computer suffers a little bit from the noise, but it does give you a different way of looking at it.
Fascinating. Could I get one of Scheuermann's, let's see.
Sure, go ahead, whatever you got a slide on.
Let's see.
I wish...
You can turn that off. Let me pick out. Wait. Let me put one up of one of the nails.
Okay. Just for the record, I'll say again while the camera's still running here, that the nails being metal and being a bystander to the resurrection could indeed act as reflectors such that the light which is striking them, if it behaves according to normal radiation, would cast shadows and would act just like any other object laid on photographic film. If the objects themselves were to be transformed by the resurrection, which I doubt very much, I think the nails were still there after the resurrection.
Yeah.
So I'll say that another way. Objects which were witness to the resurrection would leave some kind of a shadow, and that would constitute a first or second class, that is, i.e. either contact with the rust being transferred to the cloth, as in first type contact, second type convection, that would be the light glancing off of it producing some unusual effect. But as to whether the witness item gave radiation on its own, I would doubt that from a physics standpoint, since it was a passive ingredient to the resurrection. So if it's recorded there, it's recorded as a shadow.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. What's on the screen now is the picture of the nail. Is that there's a ruler there, and then there's an outline image says that the nail image itself on the shroud is directly between the two. It's halfway between the two. You see it?
All right. Now, the next thing. This is very revealing because... Okay. Now this is a good chance to point out, notice how the ruler has taken on a shape of its own because of the light spread across it. And the nail here, the outline of the nail, is artificially depressed into the page because it's dark. But if we could, in order to ignore that, we have to invert this like this. And you see what effect that has.
Let's see.
This is a...
leave there 1 second if you
all
will.
right, I'll do it right there.
Okay.
Now that's the negative. Now let me bring it up to the positive. Now take a picture of that. That's the opposite direction. Okay.
Okay.
Now, again, it looks very close to a picture there, but there's no relief. You get the relief back up here. I would have to agree that there's certainly some relief in that object you've got between the lines there. Now, we know
Well,
this is an artifact
yeah,
here. We know
okay.
you drew that on. We know you drew that around
Yeah,
there.
okay, yeah.
But the important point is that even, you see, here's again where the artist, you, cannot fool a computer. You put a line around that, which the computer sees and interprets that as a depression. But notice what it does to the brightness. It still puts a raising up in there, okay? And your wrinkles are still in there going down. So the important point is what your eye saw to put your ring around is definitely there. That is an interesting...
Okay. It appears as though the point end of the nail has some dimensionality to it.
Okay, well, let's start again. The image that you're referencing is this image out here.
That's it, yeah.
Now, the image that you're playing with, this fell onto something there. So so this you drew,
Yeah.
and this is there. That's
That's right, yeah. Can you put the gain up some more? Let's get
All right.
some more. Okay.
there's no question about it. There's something of an object there.
Okay.
Obviously, the ruler to show you how the ruler
Yeah, right.
is
Yeah, the
started.
ruler is
Totally
kind of weird.
distorted.
What would you say about the fact we get that much image off the?
I'm saying it's
spike.
more than coincidence. There's something there making that image.
But you would not.
It's hard to identify it 100% saying it's an iron nail,
Yeah.
but it certainly looks like either a wrinkle or an object that formed the shape of a nail. A more careful scientist would say, whatever the artifact was, it formed an image like a...
Yeah, let's see. Leave it there just 1 second. Let me just outline the two small nails. I feel it's two small nails on it, on the screen. Let's see it. Okay, let's see.
I'll leave it there because that's sort of a good...
Okay. This is the outline of the spike itself. There, feel two small nails on here and here.
Okay.
Does that show?
Yep, that showed up. If you want to point directly to the screen, do that too, just to verify.
Okay. Let's see that. That's.
I mean, point to it here. Point to
that's
it.
it. Oh, okay. But I feel
I don't know which way it's going to show up better, but...
on it here. That apparently is it there. That's like I couldn't
Right,
there.
that's
that
it.
looks like the two small nails right there.
Right.
And the outline of the
Here's your
spike
tip
there.
right here.
Yeah, tip of the spike right there. And the two small nails right there. They kind of stand up. So.
Yeah. And there's something there.
Okay. Let me try putting a picture of the thorn, the crown of thorns in that has one of Scheuermann's.
So you noticed how when he turned on the fluorescent light, you see how a wave starts moving through there. That's the 60 cycle synchronization line, but that's clearly just noise. But some more words about this while the camera's still running. When the atom bomb was dropped in Japan, you know, the famous picture of a man on a ladder. Remember that there was a guy up on a ladder, and even though there was no ladder or man, when it was all over, the image was burned, the witness was there. It was definitely put into it. So,
The wall.
yeah, in the wall. So it's very possible that a nail, which is iron, would act as some kind of a shadow forming device. Well, it's just like when they take an x-ray and they put your name in the, they tape your little thing onto the x-ray so the shadow is formed.
Okay, what this is a slide of is that this is the image of the Gandelia thorn in the center, along with the picture of the thorn from the book on the left, and the coronal image discharge off of pyracantha thorns on the right. So you can.
All right, and now
Let me get around here.
I put this back in the order which you just had it up on the screen.
Okay, let's see.
Your shoulder's in the corona discharge. Look out, you got your corona discharge.
Okay, let's see. move in here, I'm getting focus. Okay. All right.
Now, this is the coronal part of the image,
Yeah.
and I've got it raised up to deliberately enhance a three-dimensional nature to it. And there's no question about it, you see a nice rounded image, and it's quite believable. Now I'm going to back out here again, we're going to show the whole thing. All right, so here's your paper with the image on it, here's the shroud, and here's the corona discharge. I can bring this in, and you can see that the paper image itself has some interesting three-dimensional properties. Notice how strange that looks, just by the black and white lines. But because they're so crisp and neat, that's what the computer interprets that as saying, they're man-made, which of course they are, because in nature they'd never be that crisp. Now here we go back to the shroud itself. And once again, this is very hard to interpret because it's so noisy. But if you want to point something, go ahead.
Right, okay, let me...
See if you can get something out of it. I'm going to back it out so you can see all three images.
Okay.
All right, there's all three images, the best I can do.
Okay,
Corona. This is the corona over here. Okay. This is the shroud. You can see how, you want to do that one? That might be a little bit sharper there.
Okay.
This is the shroud, and that's the reference.
That's not the whole picture.
No, but this is the more meaningful part of the picture, because this is his reference sample.
Yeah, right. I was trying to see about picking the thorns out.
Yeah.
Look at that. What we have here is a triple image. Says on the left is the drawing of the Gandelia thorn from the book. In the center is what's on the shroud, and on the right is a coronal discharge taken off holly leaves.
No, I'm just trying to see if I can get the image, because I got to admit the flower image, this is so crisp, you got to detune it to see it on the shroud actually. Now, what I started to say there is, even though...
It's down below.
All right, let's back off here. Even though this is the book image, this is the shroud, and this is the coronal image, I'm going to zoom in on this just to show the different effects here. You can see the... okay, that's a sharp in if I can get it. You can see the little bumpies due to the corona. They are still not representative of the actual plant. In other words, the bumpies are more a function of the electron cloud of the corona, and they are not as encoded with three-dimensional information. Now, by the same token, when I come back over here to your original drawing, pen and ink drawing, you can see how crisp that is because the black and white of the outline of your book, of your textbook pattern there is so sharp. And that too is unreal because you know the leaf itself is not that enhanced. Now we look on the shroud and we have to actually change the gain slightly here. But I will have to admit there is some three-dimensional object there, every bit as pronounced as a coin, right laying in this area there. There is some information there. As I rotate that, let's see if we can find out what that might be.
He's going to take pictures, so let's go in.
Let's see. I'll get this under here. Let me see if I can back out just a hair here. And get a little bit more of that. All right, now go ahead. I'm going to rotate it slightly. All right.
Okay.
Say when.
All right. Let's see. Back to. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Leave it there. Just one second while I outline something on the screen.
All right.
So to show where the margin of the leaf is on the screen, there's the leaf. There's the The thorn images are up here. Here, this is leaf extending down here.
Leaf or
Back up here.
stem?
This is leaf.
Right,
There's another fainter one here.
okay.
Does that show up on the screen?
Yes, it does. Oh, yeah, it's showing up.
That's where the...
You're making a black hole on the screen.
Oh, I see, okay. Okay. So I couldn't
You've
watch
invented the black hole.
Okay. Did that follow what I presume is
Yes.
this here?
That's correct. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
now
correct.
That's the...
I'll move it back into position.
Yeah,
That's what
okay,
you're
yeah,
talking about.
That was the, what I was presuming is to be the...
Yeah. And you can see the
outline.
ridge carrying out into there.
Yeah, there's here the thorn cluster up here. Look at that, my goodness, look at there.
Yeah, well, right. That's
See that right there?
yeah.
Yeah, that, I'm outlining it. Let's see, looks like my...
The correct name for this type of display, I might add, is a raster spinner.
Oh.
The idea of VP8 doesn't help much. That's the name of the product
This is the
already.
thorn area here.
But the important thing we're doing is we are spinning the raster, and that's why this is called in the jargon of the trade a raster spinner. And it's called a pseudo three-dimensional display because it's not, it is relying on your mind to make it into a three-dimensional.
Let's see that. Okay, that's it, right there. Stop there. Okay.
You can definitely see them there. Resolve it.
All right. Here is what I feel is letter A. Right there, there, and there.
I can see it now.
Yes, see.
I'm trying to find something.
Can you see that on?
Yes, you can see that. I zoomed into that part of the picture,
Yeah. Okay.
and no question about it.
Let's see. Wait. Let me see what your side.
You hold it on your A there, and I'll point to it here.
Okay.
You got it there?
This on the.
All right, here it is, right here.
Okay.
Now, if you want to point over, here's the A right here.
Yeah. Okay. I'll trace A up here, up the left strut,
Yeah.
down the right strut, and on the crossbar.
All right. Crossbar right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I'm going to rotate it about.
Just one sec. Let me shift around.
Oh, all right.
I was photographing the screen and not the one up there. Let me see this. I'll get focused in here.
I'll help you get oriented. Here's your crossbar right here.
Okay.
All right. Here's your crossbar. Here's your A over here. Now I'm going to play with the gain a little bit. Are you still there?
Yeah.
All right. I can take it down here, and you can see it in negative a little bit there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm going to bring it back up, bring it down. Now I'm going to rotate it slightly. Oops. See, this is your burn patch up here. Now again, this letter is a witness or is thrown onto the cloth if it's there by some external force. I don't believe it should show up three-dimensionally. That's my opinion, but that's the negative.
Excuse me. Where's my camera?
It's the positive.
Just see, just once. Yeah, here we go. Okay.
There's a woman by the name of Barbara Moran Sullivan, ironically. She wrote about this for the Chicago Saturday Review some years ago.
Let's see, can you...
All right, I'll point to it again. Here's your A, center section right there.
Okay.
All right, now I can rotate it a little bit. All right, I don't know whether you can see it better or not.
Let's see.
It's hard to see.
Okay, there.
Okay, let's leave it go there, because there's your burn mark, and I'll just help by pointing to that. Okay, your burn mark.
Yeah, interestingly, on the title fragment, the letters they've been gouged out and they have a red paint put in.
Yeah. So there's somewhat of an effort made to, okay, that would account for maybe why a sharp edge would make an image spray the corona or whatever. Well, there's no doubt about it. There can be all kinds of electrical processes. Not having been to the resurrection lately, I don't know what lightning... Well, you know, when they dropped the atom bomb, when they dropped the hydrogen bomb, it drew lightning from the sky on a clear day. Did you ever see those photographs?
Uh-huh.
When the fireball goes off, lightning comes down around it because
Really?
you got a compression of the atmosphere. It's quite spectacular photograph. Lightning on a clear blue sky day, you know, no clouds.
Gracious.
But it's way out here. In other words, the ball is right here, and lightning is out here.
No, I never knew that. Could you run the gain up and I'll just...
All right,
look at that.
there's the gain.
Yeah.
I'll take it down first,
Okay.
and then I'll bring it back up again.
Okay.
There is a point
yeah,
at which the
there's-
gain could be too high and
Yeah,
lower left.
that's too high, so,
Yeah, it doesn't help. It sort of clouds up the image.
yeah, since it's not a three-dimensional object anyway, it's,
Yeah.
it's a flat object. Let's see, once again, this on the screen of the field is the object, the man of the medallion over the chest, but the figure of Tiberius holding a scepter on the left and of the goddess Roma on the right.
All right, now,
Okay, there we go.
to get this back in perspective here, I'll lower it a little bit here, but I got to admit, you can see, what you can see here, here's your male figure with his scepter,
Oh,
sitting right there, and here's what appears to be the female figure with her scepter, sitting right here.
yeah.
So that, and the tassels are down this way, the
that's right,
feet,
yeah.
they're coming this way. There's no evidence of strings, but there's a little valley right here. There does look to be something right at this point. And we don't see anything up there, but it's, I point to this, right here, this is a, what may be a valley, or a, I would say a, possibly a leather string of something.
Yeah. Well, that's,
No question about it, there's something there.
yeah, might have been put in.
In fact, you can certainly, you can almost see her sitting there with her dress and the guy's body right there. That's really quite amazing. You can almost see her hair.
Yeah.
Can you see that in?
Yes.
Right here.
I can see it better than the other shot up
Yeah.
here. Much better than
Yeah,
there.
that does
Well, it's
give it-
definitely three-dimensional. I have to agree with that. Now that's, I will say, this is definitely a class 2-3 image. I don't know what we call it. Going by the rules, this is a class 2-3.
The rules cover class 2, 3, or?
You know, all scientists have their forbidden zones. Well, this is one of those 2-3s.
Isn't that fascinating?
Pseudo three-dimensional. Certainly there. Something there. There.